Fishing is always great at Mille Lacs, and we encourage people to go there. So far, the walleye take has been fairly low, and this is consistent with the cooler water temperature we've had, the regulations that are in place. There's a high forage base, and angling pressure has been lower so far. But people are catching fish. We're having good reports, both in the press and from guides and other anglers who are going up there. So far, the take this year has been about 17,000 pounds, which is about what we expected. Then that allowed us to go ahead and lift the night closure that was on there. That came off on July 21st. Obviously, that leads to more walleye fishing opportunities, but also opportunities for muskie anglers and bow anglers as well. You know, the other thing that's really interesting is that people are harvesting northern pike up there. Total take so far this year is about 14,000 pounds, and that compares to 11,000 pounds all of last year. And what's really nice is that a lot of those fish are in that 22 to 26 inch size range, which we wanted because we want to protect the trophy aspect of the northern pike fishery that's out there, and it's one of the best in the state, no question. Well, the walleye population is low compared to historical levels, but there is still adequate spawning biomass out there to help rebuild the fishery, and so that's why we're in this phase of trying to rebuild the population out there. We've had excellent reproduction each of the last 5 years. We have lots of young of the year fish in the fall. The issue has been that these fish have not been surviving to their second and third years and recruiting to the population. It's natural for walleye populations to do this occasionally. The issue is it's been going on for the better part of a decade and annually since 2008. So what we're really looking for is to find those reasons that those fish aren't surviving. They're spawned, they're hatched, they're out there, but they're not making it to ages 2 and 3, which is where we need them to get. Well, there are many things going on Mille Lacs right now, as people know, but probably the most interesting thing is the predator to diet study that we've been working on. And that began in 2013, and literally we've looked at hundreds of stomach contents of different sizes of walleye, different sizes of pike, different sizes of smallmouth bass. And that's continuing into this year because it's very important. Forage bases change from year to year, so what's available for a fish to eat, if that changes from year to year, that's an important component. You know, and it's really too early to draw a lot of conclusions out of this, but some things that have become very apparent is the yellow perch is the staple of the diet out there, particularly for the walleye and the northern pike. The staple of the diet for a crayfish, or for a smallmouth bass, is crayfish. They really key in on those things, and I know anglers who've caught them before would know that. And then the other interesting thing is that the diets of the different sizes of walleye are really similar across sizes. But for northern pike, the pike under 25 inches are eating things quite different than the pike over 25 inches are. Pike over 25 inches really like to key in on those tulubi that are out there, which partly explains why they grow so well and why such a trophy population out there. Well, the surveys are showing one thing that we really hoped, and that is that the 2013 year class that showed up very well last fall has survived over the winter, and it's surviving through the summer. That's important because even though we've had really good reproduction in many years, it's that survival that hasn't occurred. So this one seems to be getting past that gauntlet that the 2009, 10, 11, and 12 year classes couldn't. You know, those fish are about 10 inches long right now. Anglers are starting to catch them. We're having reports of that. We're also seeing them in some of our trawling gear and other aspects that we do out there. So that's a really good sign, but we need these fish to make it through the next 2 or 3 years, and then that'll be the first key. We're going to need a couple more good year classes to get this population rebuilt, but it's a very optimistic sign that this 2013 might be our first piece of that particular puzzle. Oh, absolutely. I mean, ever since Ice Out this year, we've had numerous other activities that have been going on. We've got a mark recapture population estimate for walleyes and northern pike that's really state-of-the-art kind of stuff. We have other surveys out there planned for the invasive species, including the spiny water flea that we deal with, the zebra mussels, the Eurasian water milfoil. We have some real pioneering work going on as far as population modeling that we're having folks from around the country really look at and really scrutinize. And so just the whole sum total of the efforts is trying to find those different pieces of the puzzle. We have more water quality work we need to do. We know Mille Lacs is a system under change, and how does that affect our efforts to rebuild a walleye population. So it's a tricky puzzle, but it's one the DNR is committed to solving.